Welcome back to Be Rich. And today I have with me my nephew, Sashwath Swaminathan. I think it's a very long time since we have both done a video together. And I thought we will start this series again. So, what I thought in Be Rich we would do is we would discuss specific stocks, both Indian and foreign stocks, and take a look at it and give an explanation why some of it I call diamond needles and some of them as cheap stocks which you can pick it up, which could possibly turn into diamond needles tomorrow. And so today Shashwat has a surprise stock for you, something which I have not discussed at all. Yes, Shashwat.
Yeah, so today I wanted to talk about Eicher Motors. It's a company that all of us consider as part of the Indian heritage. It's a company we're all proud of, and it's a company which has been making waves on a global scale as well. So, Eicher Motors is a motorcycle manufacturing company. All of you must be familiar with the Enfield bikes, Royal Enfield bikes, and you must also be familiar with their joint venture which they have with Volvo, where they make EV trucks for customers in India, along with other normal diesel trucks.
Yes. See, actually, it started as a company making MCVs and LCVs. And a couple of decades ago, I think, I don't remember the year, Enfield was a sick and dead company in Madras. So Siddharth Lal, who was a motorcycle fan, he came and bought that company and he turned it around. Royal Enfield is a British brand which died in England and which are almost dead in India also. He revived it very quickly. It's a motorcycle still made by hand. It's not a machined vehicle fully. It's assembled by hand in Madras. And he revived that brand, the classic Bullet. And then, like Harley Davidson of the United States, developed it into an iconic brand. And he has added several new sub brands to that.
So
And
one
he
addition
is,
I want to make is that 2009 was when they released their iconic classic Royal Enfield series, when the turnaround
yes,
happened.
that's when the turnaround happened. And now they have Himalaya, Hunter, and they have electric starts. Normally, the original classic Bullet, you had to kick start, and the back kick would hurt your leg very badly when I used to ride those kind of bikes. And all that is gone now. It's an electric bike. It's meant for long distance riding. It's a very stable bike, but it's very heavy, and it requires a bit of skill to ride it. And but it's a very rugged bike. So what he did is he developed that product. He started selling. It's a low volume, high margin product. The margins on that bike are extremely high, but the volume is very low. And for a long time, since the volume was extremely small, other players were not interested in it. That is, the Bajaj and the Hero Motors were not interested in it. And so was TVS was not interested in it because the real volumes were somewhere else. This volume, I think, today sells about less than a lakh of bikes every month, less than 100,000. Whereas each of these guys sell in excess of 3 lakh motorcycles. So it's not even 10% of India's total motorcycle market. It's a very small subsegment of India's motorcycle market. And but like Apple, it has its own volumes. It has its own committed followers and committed values. And even the Eicher small minivans are very popular, especially which they take them to kids to school and those kind of vehicles. Then they tied up with Volvo to make electric commercial carriers also. They also make MCVs and light commercial vehicles. But the real crown jewel is this, the Enfield motorcycle. The problem in Enfield is, for me, I have never bought Eicher, is because the cost equation was very high. It's now become relatively cheap. It used to be 50 times, 60 times earnings once upon a time. It's now come down to more earthly levels. I think last time when I checked, it was 35, 32 times earnings.
Now 32.39.
Yeah, 32.39. Still, for a value investor like me, it's very expensive. But for long-term aficionados of the stock, it is cheap because it's not at 50 times earnings or 60 times earnings. It is definitely at 32 times earnings. It is cheaper than Bajaj today. Why I brought up Bajaj, I'll tell you, it is cheaper than Bajaj. The flip side of the argument is Harley Davidson left India and has now entered through Hero. So they will have better distribution now. So Harley Davidson will be cheaper, more aggressive, with a bigger network and bigger service. So there is going to be pressure from Harley Davidson. Bajaj has bought KTK bikes in the Europe where they make high-end racing bikes. And they have bought that Triumph, the English brand, which they have started selling. So you're going to have enormous pressure from
Hero
Bajaj
Motor.
and Hero Motors, and TVS has a tie-up with BMW motorcycles. So top and bottom, there is going to be a lot of pressure on this bike. And to be very more cynical, or whatever is the word, Honda Motor Company has become stronger and stronger in India. HMSI, and the Honda Motor and Scooter Company, has become very powerful in India. They are within tipping toe distance of becoming the largest motorcycle manufacturer in India. It's only a matter of time. It's not if, but when they'll become the number one bike. And Honda has a huge range of high-end motorcycles, which Honda can unleash. So there is more growing competition. There are headwinds, and the commercial vehicle is not a very happening place. Investors don't like commercial vehicle manufacturers. And there also, what is going to happen is Tatas, which were so long concentrating on passenger vehicles, are going to split the company into two, where you are going to have a Tata passenger vehicle and a Tata commercial vehicle, so that they'll have sharper focus on the commercial vehicle side of the market. So for me, the danger is we'll get caught in a pincer move in the market. If it's 16 times earnings, still I would have considered it. But at 32 times earnings with these kind of stress, I won't take it. People have asked me this over 3 years. I have not bought it over 3 years. It's now trading at about 4,300 and odd rupees. 32.9 times earnings, as you said. I won't do it. When I looked at two-wheelers, I did two things. I bought Hero Motors at around about 1,500, and I bought Bajaj at 2,700, 2,800. I did a video in Tamil explaining why you should buy Bajaj, and I was very disappointed when it went to only 60,000 views. And then I kept on telling people that, then people said, stop talking about Bajaj. Because for me at that time, Bajaj represented a lot of value. It was 15 times earnings or something like that. And then when the electric scooters started happening, because Bajaj has separate businesses, Bajaj is a mass two-wheeler manufacturer who was a leader in scooters but had given up the scooter market, but was a market leader in three-wheelers, in passengers, and had a commercial vehicle. So Bajaj could pivot to electric vehicles more quickly, and they started to get into the top three in three-wheeler autos and the second largest player in two-wheeler scooters in Bajaj Electric, and they got it without burning money. So Bajaj now is seen as an electric company, and from 16 times earnings, it went to 40, 42 times earnings. It went to 12,000 rupees and has recently corrected to 9,100. But at 9,100, I still think it's a way above 37, 38 times earnings, or is it still 40 times earnings? I'm not sure. But it's highly overvalued. When it gets overvalued, I leave it. So that
Bajaj
became
Auto is trading at 37.66 times earnings at
so
9,879 rupees.
yes. So it was at 40, it was 12,000. It came to 9,700. With Rajiv Bajaj selling, its true worth is 20,000. So that is Rajiv Bajaj's claim that is worth 20,000. I don't know why somebody will pay 80 times earnings for a company of that size. But the point is, I didn't buy Eicher. I bought Bajaj. At that peak, it was three times the money I invested, I made. What you call a three bagger. And Hero became a two bagger.
Yes, but before
Whereas,
we continue, I want to play counterfactual. So I want to give some information out to the public as well as you, and let's see what your thoughts are on it. Because I went through Eicher Motors' financial past, and I've gone through what their numbers are as of late. I don't think their Q2 results have come out yet, but as far as Q1 is concerned, I've gone through everything before that. So before we continue on that, I want to first reinforce something which you said and then bring up the financials. So if you look at Eicher Motors back in 2018, 2019, when I brought it out to you and said that, look, this is a company with zero debt, it has wonderful reserves. Why don't we look at it? We basically said that let's not consider it because it was trading at 50 times earnings, and In around 2015, it was trading at 78 times earnings. And in Jan 2021, again, it went all the way up to 79 times earnings or 75 times earnings. So this company has always been valued at a very high valuation. But interestingly enough, over the last 3 years, they've had a compounded profit growth of 44%. This, you can say, you can pin it to the recovery from COVID, is what I think it is. But over the past 3 years, they've shown quite a lot of growth. And over the past 10 years, their growth has compounded by 27% on average every year. So that's one thing to consider. But interestingly enough, in parallel, their sales growth over the past 10 years has only compounded by 9%. So what do you think about that? Why is there a disparity between the profit and sales?
The margins is higher because you're selling to your own group. There is a hardcore group which wants to buy that brand.
Yes,
It's an aspiration for any boy in rural India or even in urban India to own a bullet.
yes,
His father or uncle or some bigwig in that area would have owned a bullet. In fact, a popular YouTube video shows in North India a lady in a sari riding a bullet.
wow.
So there's a Tamil character in a comic drama called Bullet Pushpa.
Okay,
So it's an iconic brand. Even if my volumes are not going up, I can
yeah,
keep increasing my price.
hmm.
So my
Yes,
margins have gone up. My sales has not gone up. But
yes,
in the long run, sales what matters. Why should I pay 70 times for an earnings for a company which is growing at 9% sale and its
yes.
profit is growing only 25%?
So I have,
Sooner or
yes.
later the party will end, and it seems to have ended now.
Yes, that was my question to you, which is that, okay, well and good that their margins have gone up after the turnaround in 2009. Over the past 10, 15 years, their margins have gone up because, as you rightly said, Enfield commands a brand value which they've built over time. But again, on that question, the growth in brand value can only, at least intuitively speaking, the growth in brand value can only sustain so much, after which you have to have cold hard growth in sales. And like you said, there are multiple segments in which they're getting hammered because they have 7% of market share in motorcycles overall. And in their own segment, that is above the 125cc segment, they have about 25% market share in what they're selling right now. And you're telling me the market share is only going to come down or stay stagnant because more competitors of quality manufacturing are coming into the market. So, which tells me that the growth rate is going to probably take a big hit as we go into the future.
See, India is now liberalized for more than 30 years now.
Yeah.
So Harley Davidson will become the iconic brand.
Mm.
There is a group of people, the premium segment, which will go buy a Harley Davidson or a BMW or a Honda.
Yeah.
Unless he had bought Harley Davidson. The good
Yes.
move for Siddharth Lal was instead of allowing Hero to tie up with Harley Davidson, he should have tied up with Harley Davidson.
Yes.
That would have expanded the pie.
Yeah. One more
It,
question here before we move on to that point. You had taught me that a product goes through a life cycle. You said that when it's first in the market, you have sales growth, and then at some point the company matures, and then they are more of a cash cow like ITC. Rather than prioritizing growth, you're prioritizing free cash flow. So your valuations do come down, but you're getting more free cash flow, and it's a cash spewing business. So
yes,
my question to you is, do you think Enfield is making the transition to a cash spewing business rather than a
it has
growth company?
become, but contrast it with ITC. ITC keeps on adding more products. So the life cycle of the company continues to change.
Okay. Can you explain what a life cycle of a company is for our audience?
See, let us take the mighty Tatas.
Yeah.
The Tata started as a cotton trading company during the time of the American Civil War, when the American South was cut off from the rest of
North.
the world and England needed cotton. India stepped up to provide cotton. That is how the cotton merchants of Bombay became wealthy. Jamshid Tata realized that he can set up a cotton mill. He went to England, he studied there, came back and started two cotton mills in Bombay. But
Yes.
he knew that coal-fired steam-driven cotton mill can only go so far. He went and invested in Tata Power. He wanted to bring electricity to the city of Bombay.
Yeah.
Next, he also realized iron and steel was the next thing to go.
So that is called
So
upgrading the life cycle of your company.
that they changed it completely. No,
Okay.
in my generation, we knew Tata as a steel manufacturer.
Yes.
100 years back, Tata was an empire, was a textile company which also made steel.
Yes. So
So
your
they
father
got,
and my grandfather would have known it as a textile company
not
that
my
makes.
father. My father would have known it as a steel company. He was
Okay.
born in 1938. My grandfather, your great grandfather, would have known it as a textile company,
Okay. Yeah.
right? From steel, they moved to locomotives.
Okay.
When the government banned locomotives, they started assembling Benz trucks.
Yes.
And from there, they took the next big jump was to get into software in 1960s.
Wow.
They,
Okay. So
they
they
moved to
got
software
every single trend before it even started, a good 10, 15 years before it
years before
started.
started. They've started manufacturing aviation sub-assemblies 10 years back.
Before the
Now,
problems that.
yeah, and now they are going to make an Airbus plane on its own. That is, they are going to assemble an aircraft by themselves.
Yeah. Clearly they're capitalizing on market turmoil.
Yeah, and now what they are saying is they are now backward integrating into making from silicon into high end. They'll assemble a phone together.
Yeah.
In 10 years, they will manufacture their own chips. They will assemble it at their own place. They will take an order from Apple and they can do everything. Can assemble it from sand to a cell phone
Yes.
10 years from now. They will also design chips in TCS.
Yes.
You have
But
a
how can a
Foxconn.
company like Enfield do that?
How did ITC do that? Yogi Deveshwar when Yogi Deveshwar inventor got hold of ITC, it had two hotels and a cigarette company.
Yeah.
Today, ITC is a behemoth in food, is India's largest food company.
Yes.
If you sell off the cigarette division, the food itself will give you a huge valuation. But they are now gaining market share there. They are not looking at margins. They are
Yeah.
growing their business there. At some time, they have forced Hindustan Unilever to vacate atta market. They came into wheat, branded wheat after HUL, and they have forced HUL to vacate.
Yeah.
They took on Maggie. They have got market share, but they have not become number one. They are number two. EP noodles.
Yeah. Yippee noodles.
They have got behind Pepsi and have got Bingo,
Yeah.
the number two brand. They bought naturals. They have got into juices. So
Yes.
they are trying to become number one, number two, number three in everything. So they
Yeah.
are expanding lifestyle. No, they are moving away. They are moved into packaging. They had greeting cards. When greeting cards died, they got into notebooks. They are making pencils, pen. They are moving into student business.
Yes.
They are making matchsticks. They are making agarbattis. Nobody else makes agarbattis.
So, but how does this apply to Eicher Motors?
I am telling you, Eicher Motors should have done the tie-up with the Harley Davidson.
Okay. Got it.
Instead of waiting for Hero Motors to do the, had he tied
Yes.
up with Harley Davidson, he will have the low end in Bullet, high end in Harley Davidson. He would have cut the entire value space.
So my final question to you is now Eicher Motors is still sitting on an enormous amount of cash. They're sitting on about 18,000 crores in reserves. They have no debt. What would you do if you were in the boardroom of Eicher Motors or you had the ear of the one controlling Eicher Motors?
If I had the ear of Siddharth Lal, I will say try to buy a premium brand. Something
With a
above with that 18,000 crores cash. He should have tied up with Harley Davidson.
yeah.
I would tie up with Yamaha.
Okay. Yes.
Who are the high end bikes in the world? The Hondas and the Yamahas. You bring the Yamaha. Yamaha is struggling in India.
Yeah, the Japanese manufacturers. Yes.
So you tie up with Yamaha.
Yeah.
You get Yamaha to be your partner. So that will give you an extended lease of life.
Got
Yamaha
it.
is a big brand. Yamaha is also a music brand, makes
Yes.
keyboards.
I recently bought a Yamaha guitar for myself. So yes.
Yes. So that's your answer.
Okay, so I think our viewers have gotten a good idea of what we think about Eicher Motors. And none of this is investment advice. We are not SEBI registered investment advisors. And we hope you consult with a SEBI registered investment advisor before you make investment decisions. Anything else you'd like to add?
3 years ago, had you bought Bajaj, you would have made three times the money. 3 years ago, you bought Eicher, 60% more money. Between 60 and 90% where you
If
bought it.
you bought it in 2017 when it was, like you say, a diamond needle, you would have made only 50% since 2017 to today.
Yeah. But you would have made much more in Bajaj.
You haven't even beaten inflation, let me add, if you bought it in 2017.
And this is why I said don't buy diamond needles. Thank you for watching Be Rich. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell notification. And tell your friends about Be Rich and send this video to them and have them take a look. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich.
Thank you.
Thanks for your support for Be Rich. For those who are in North India or who are outside India, you have friends who know Hindi, or if you know Hindi, please subscribe to my channel, Paisa Boltha Hai. I give the same content which I do in Tamil in that. And this is for people who want to follow me in Hindi. Be Rich has slightly different content. Thank you for supporting Be Rich, and I'll be around here.
Hey guys, welcome back to Be Rich. Before we get into the video, I wanted to bring to your notice that my uncles VinodSrinivasan, Anand Srinivasan and I have rolled out our Substack, which is basically a blog / newsletter where we're going to post our original research onto it, and we've analyzed macroeconomic trends. And a lot of you know my uncle Anand Srinivasan and I regularly write for The Hindu, and these articles are also going to be made available for you in the Substack. The link is moatinvesting.substack.com. You'll find it in the description and in the video right now. We hope you go check it out. We've put a lot of time and effort into it. And please give us comments and feedback on what you read. Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.